Hi everybody, welcome to Airbrush Artistry. This is Douglas Hartman, and next project we got going on here is well, it's a T-shirt for me. I don't have a Dungeons and Dragons T-shirt for myself, and so the campaign that we're running right now, Fandelver and Below the Shattered Obelisk, it's got some mind flayers in it. For those of you who don't know anything about Dungeons and Dragons or don't know what a mind flayer is. Here we go. We got a humanoid figure with his big old head going back. And they have 4, or more, kind of like, squid or octopus like tentacles coming down off their face. And essentially what they do is they latch onto somebody's head with these tentacles, and they crack open your skull and they suck out your brains. And they're actually pretty cool. They're god awfully smart. They use a lot of psionic powers and stuff like that. But anyway, that's a whole nother topic. And so what we got is I did, and I went over this before, but went everything with opaque white. And then what I did was when I cut out the drawing that I did, cut it out, put the negative form up here, sprayed it in white, and then roughly transfer, my image right here. All you got to do is, put some dark graphite down on the back or charcoal, and I just taped it up there like so, and went over it with a stylus, and it, bada boom, bada bing. Then went in with a pencil and added some more detail and whatnot. So it's very, it's very easy to do stuff like that. I've already got my colors mixed up. First off, I'm going to be using opaque colors just to get a good base of color in there. And what I'll be doing was I'll be going back over the opaques colors, the same thing, just transparent. The transparent over opaques, it really helps the add a bit of vibrancy to your colors. And I like to do that anyway. But I like using opaque colors first on a t-shirt just to help get the color saturation in there. It just kind of, to me, it helps the t-shirt last longer. And what I'm going to be using first is Laguna Blue, which is this guy here. It's a real light, almost like a robin's egg blue, for like a lot of the highlights and whatnot. A little bit darker blue is a cerulean. I just probably butchered the name on that blue. And I'm going to be adding a couple drops of white to these guys when I get them in the airbrush. And all the colors that I have in these bottles are already reduced 50%. These are all Createx Wicked or Wicked Detail colors. And with those, I use Createx 4011 Reducer, which is this guy right here. And I also have some blue green and some Viridian green. There's a little bit of difference in there, especially when you add white to them. And then I also have, I'm going to be using a little bit of red, violet, and magenta. I'm going to be adding some really cool, as far as like, they're kind of like, I don't want to say transparent, but thin-skinned. So I'll be adding a lot of like, veins on his foreheads and stuff going back, just to give a different look to him. Now they don't have a whole lot of, like the goblin that I did, there was a lot of like skin texture going on and stuff like that. These guys are a bit, for lack of a better term, smoother and not really slimy, but, they're not like dry and crusty. Okay. They're a little, I don't want to say like a slug, but, they're they kind of have that kind of a texture going on, a little smoother, not as rough. And so that's what I'm going to go with. And then when I'm done with this guy here, the effect I'm going to do in the back is he's going to have some kind of big cape, and I'll just put in there briefly this touch of outlines to it. It'll give it a cool effect. But that's what we're going with. Airbrush wise, what I'm using on this guy is I've got my Iwata HPC Plus that has the 0.3 millimeter needle and nozzle setup. And a lot of times when I'm doing a t-shirt, I like to have, I got the hoses all wrapped up. A couple of airbrushes going at the same time, so I don't have to, if I'm swapping back and forth color-wise. So I'm also going to be using my one of my H&S Evolutions, and it has the 0.4 millimeter needle and nozzle setup. And this is not the new Evolution. This is the old one. But works great. Love them. And so what I thought I would do first is I don't want to lose the line work in here. And so what I think I'm going to do is lightly go in, and this almost is like breaking my own rule of I like to work light to dark. But I want to go in, and I'm going to use the cerulean blue. Go in with my the H&S, and I'm going to go in and kind of almost like outline the marks I already have on here, just so I don't lose them in the whole process. So I've already got this stuff mixed up, and these bottles I got off Amazon. You can get a whole bag of them for pretty cheap. And I put in a couple of chrome plated BBs in there, and I got a little vibrating shaker doohickey over there. I'll have to show you guys, but pretty much it's all. I've already shooken up everything. But yeah, so we're gonna start off with a 50% reduction. 10. And we're gonna go with just 10 drops of that, and just because I'm doing some of the line work, so I don't need a whole lot of paint right now. But I'm going to do 10 drops of cerulean blue, and I'm going to add just I'm going to add 2 drops of white. And so when I like to pre-mix my colors in the bottles and stuff first, but in this case, because I'm going to be using those colors like they are transparent like that out of the bottle, I didn't want to go ahead and mix them with white. So, I added some white in there, and if I'm going to mix it in the cup, what I do is I take my little, it's like a little cosmetic sponge, and I'm just gonna put that over the needle. And essentially kind of back flush it a little bit, and that'll help mix it up. And what I'm probably gonna do is go ahead, where is my, I probably got it staring right at me. So I've got a little thing here of my 4011 reducer. I'm gonna go ahead and add 1, 2, 3 drops of that, and that'll kind of help mix things up too. And last but not least, what I'll do is I'll just put the little Kaparuski on there, put my thumb over the hole, and give the airbrush a good shake. And Oh yeah, that's flowing pretty good right there. So yeah, so the both the white and the blue that I had in the bottles were already reduced 50%. I put 10. What did I put in there? 10. A total of 12 drops of paint in here, and then I added two more drops of reducer. And it's flowing pretty good. I'm running. Let's see, what am I running? Like 20 psi on the compressor. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to kind of start over my right side here. No, I'm not. I'm going to start on my left and work over to my right. But I'm just, I don't want to lose my line work when I start going in here. And so that's what we're going to do. Just real easy and simple. Oh, this is going to, I'm already loving the color on this. This is going to look really, really cool here. And like the texture this guy has, a lot of it is just I don't say warts, but it's almost like, just larger, smooth areas and stuff. And so again, how I take care of tip dry is I take a little Q-tip, and I have a little bottle over here with some ammonia-free Windex, and I take it and I'll just roll that bad boy along the needle, and you see how the color there is on the Q-tip. Well, that's the tip dry. And then again, I'll just take it and back flush a little bit, blow some out, and we're good to go, man. And again, we're gonna get some of this around his eyeball here. And again, this is just real loose. Again, just not wanting to lose some of the line work, really when it comes down to it. Even the center line there, I want to just go ahead and loosely get in there. It's not going to be, exact, but I just want to just get in there and to solidify my reference line so I don't lose them when I start adding the lighter color in there. Get some of these guys in here. The other day, I've got a birthday coming up. The old man's going to be 56 on February 6th. And the other day, my wife asked me, normally we don't do stuff, we're kind of at that age where we don't really do things for our birthday because we, kind of throughout the year, we've got animals and, snakes and tarantulas and stuff like that. And, we've bought each other, we've got, snakes and stuff like that. And when you get older, kind of birthdays are just kind of ho-hum. Not ho-hum, but, I guess not as important than like when you're a kid, right? But she asked me what what I wanted, for my birthday, and it's like what, and so what I asked her, because obviously I've been having some issues with being consistent with doing YouTube videos with my airbrush work and stuff, and a lot it's kind of gotten harder for me. It's like I come home from work and I just want to, it's so easy just to get home, take a shower, flop on the couch, get something to eat, and we'll watch, movies. Or right now we're like doing the whole NCIS, binging on that again, and so I asked her to help me stay motivated, help me and push me to, when I come home from work, just go downstairs and, do a video. And so I've asked her to kind of help me with that. And she's been great, let me tell you. And so, that's all I really wanted to do with that, is just add in my, some of the lines there. And so I'm going to set this airbrush over to the side. But what I'm going to do before I do that is, again, going to go ahead and take care of any tip dry. Give it a back flush. And so, bing. And so now, what I'm going to do now with my Awada HPC Plus is I'm going to go ahead and we're going to go with the Laguna Blue. And I'll do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. I'm going to go ahead and put 20 drops of that in there. Simply because I'm going to be filling in, the area. 20 drops of that. I think with the Laguna Blue, it's already opaque, but I'm going to go ahead. 1, 2, 3. I'll put 4 more drops of white in. And I will go ahead and put in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more drops of reducer. Some of you may be thinking, wow, that's a lot of, the paints are already reduced 50% that you put in there, and you're putting in even more reducer. Yep, I sure am. One of the things I finally figured out after some time is that when I first started airbrushing, I was I wasn't reducing my paints enough, and so my airbrush was always, clogging up and dirty and stuff, and wouldn't spray good, and so I've made a point to get back to basics of making sure my paints are thin enough, All right, so what I'm going to do now, and another thing too, it makes it easier to clean out. The rule with airbrushing, what I found, kind of like, if you're married, you already know this, guys, happy wife, happy life. Very basic, but very true and effective. With airbrushes, and it's, there's not a jingle for it or anything like that, but clean airbrush, better results. Properly reduced paints, better results. It's that simple, okay? So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to go in here and we're going to just essentially the center portion here. I'm going to add some of this Laguna Blue. Now I'm not worrying about detail right now, okay? I want to put in and get him covered with paint. So I can take this bad boy over to my little heat press I've got over there and give him the little clamperooski to help set it. And I do that after every, I guess, session, or after every time, I'm, with this session, I want to get in this base color in there, and before I put paint over that, I want to heat set them. And so that's my ramblings anyway. So this is all just about getting some color on this guy. Okay? That's really all I'm concerned about right now. And because this Laguna Blue is so light, it'll be no problem for me to come back over here with my other colors. And darken it up as needed. Like I said, I want to get color in there. And if you don't already know this, the thing with opaque paints is, I can go over this same 50 million times. The value is not going to change. Okay. And I need to add a lot more paint to this thing. So, yeah, it's a lot different than doing using my Takumi Micron. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and just dump a bunch of paint back in there. And you know what? I'm just going to see how this sprays without putting any reducer in there. Yeah, it sprays fine. It is a little darker than the other, so I do want to put some white in there. That should be good. Like I said, nothing special. We're just getting, just getting some paint down on them. Not worried about details, because I'm going to come back with transparents to put in the details and start changing my values. Okay. All right. That's all we're doing here is just getting Mr. Squidly covered in some paint. Just getting that first layer, just that first base down, you know. That's all I'm worried about. I just want to get some color in here. So I hope you guys have been doing all right and painting some stuff, you know. I haven't been painting squat. But my wife is helping me to stay motivated and get my ass down in the basement or the garage and painting, you know. Because the honest God's truth is, I feel like, you know, I've got a talent, and if I'm not painting, you know, I'm wasting a talent that I have, you know. And there you go, man. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Doesn't look much, but as you guys that do art know, that doing a painting or whatever, you know, it's like building a house, you know. The very beginning of it, just doing some of the foundation work. Doesn't look too exciting, you know, but you know that it's going to get a lot better and it's going to look a lot cooler when it's done. And so there's that. Okay, so now the next thing I will do, and I'm not going to bore you with that process. One day I'll do a video of I guess how I heat press my shirts and stuff. Is yeah, so the next step would be for me to take this over to my heat press and heat set it before I put another layer of color on it. And so that is, you know, another video. I just wanted to get in here real quick, do a short video. I know it's short. It's probably about a half an hour or so, but this is the next project that I'm doing. The other, you know, thing I've got, I had that, what is it, about a 2 foot by 4 foot canvas that I had that I put, oh geez, I'm going to have a brain fart. I put gesso on it and smoothed it all out. Well, smooth, it's not exactly smooth, but I sanded it down. It's the first time of me doing that before. And so I was going to do like a Mindflayer on that. You know, that was like in one of the last videos I did. But you know what? We're starting a new campaign pretty soon. And we're doing the, I'm doing the heavily modified Vecna Eve of Ruin. And so those of you who play D&D, you know Vecna, the Demo Lich. Well, in this module campaign, he ends up being a god. And so I thought, well, maybe instead of doing because I'm doing a Mindflayer t-shirt on that canvas that I have, instead of doing a Mindflayer on there, I may do Vecna instead. So that'll be pretty cool. Anyway, this is the video for this so far. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you might, learning something. Keep on painting. And until then, I appreciate all my subscribers. I appreciate you guys watching. Until then, you guys have a good night. All right. Bye.